when you least suspect it. What starts as a small shift can become the transformation of a lifetime. For Al Canasura, what began as a way to save money became a personal battle not with just growing herbs, but with himself.
Hey. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Organically Blunt. I'm Jay Blaze, if you don't know who I am, the host. And this evening, I have the pleasure and the opportunity to speak with Al Canasura. Welcome to the Organically Blunt show, Al.
Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Definitely. So I want to start things right off and get right into the nitty-gritty details here, But before we do that, the first question I have to ask that I ask everybody, is when did you first come across this plant and how old were you when you first tried it?
I was young. I think my first time trying it, I think I was 12 years old, and it was on a Super Bowl Sunday at skateboarding pipe with my buddies, and another guy was there who actually later became a good friend of mine, still is. But he had some and introduced me, and we went back to the house after that and just zoned out on the football game. And I don't even like football, but I enjoyed it then.
I think we agree on that. I'm not a football guy neither, but hey, I will admit I'm hollering for the home team, the Detroit Lions. They're doing their thing this year, that I can't be mad at them.
Yeah.
I'm not a sports guy, but they're doing their thing. But we spoke a little bit off of camera, prior to the show, and you mentioned that you started growing this beautiful plant and trying to save some money on herbs just 2 years ago. I mean, not very long. Can you tell us a little bit about what your initial motivation was and how it involved into your passion for growing?
Well, initially it was like you said, to save money, because I took a 5-year break there for a little while before I moved out here to Yuma. And then while I was here in Yuma for the first couple of years, basically due to money, because it was getting expensive. So, and then once it became legal, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start partaking again. I didn't have a job because I'm a full-time caregiver, so I didn't have a job that was going to drug test or anything, so I didn't have to worry about it. So I started partaking when it became legal, and then shortly after, I realized, oh man, this is the same issue I was having before. It's just getting too expensive. So I tried growing outdoors, and out here it was getting to be hot, and out here in Yuma, it's in the 110 and over in the summertime every day. So there's no growing this plant outside in the summertime unless you have like a cultivar that is specifically bred for the heat. You're basically limited to indoor in the summertime. So I was trying to do it outdoors, and it was getting close to that summertime feel, and I didn't know what I was doing. Poor genetics from a questionable seed source, and it just didn't work out well. So then I bought a tent shortly thereafter and started doing it inside, and I've been hooked ever since. I had my first actual successful harvest, and man, there's no stopping me now.
Definitely, and the whole subject of this is coming from somebody that, let's just put it point blank, was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. And was addicted to alcohol. And when did you determine amongst your journey that not only was your drinking a habit, but something you had to break? And what was the turning point for you?
Well, it was every day I go and I pick up my kids from school. I don't work, so I have the opportunity to do that every day. Go pick them up from school, bring them home. And at some point I started looking forward to that more for the fact that I could go home and crack open my first beer rather than the fact that I was getting to go pick up my kids, spend time with them, bring them home, and not, send them off to a nanny or a babysitter or an after school program. My focus was on, let's get this time gone by so I can get home and have my beer, so that raised a red flag for me. And then honestly, just watching all this canna content and the growing that I was doing, because I was still drinking when I first started. So the growing I was doing, it had me questioning what I was putting in my body, if you know what I mean. And then I went to Colorado. We spent 4th of July in Colorado. I drank while I was out there, and then decided while I was there, I said, you know what, when we get back to Colorado, or when we get back home to Yuma, I'm not going to drink anymore. I just decided not to. I'm done with it. It's got to stop. I'm just going to focus on my plants, and I'll take up my time with it that way. And I did. And so far I've been successful, and I put all my success to the plant, one, and to two, the community. All these fucking fabulous people that are in this community that have been egging me on, and you know, the likes, the comments, the shares, it eggs me on to do more and to learn more. And so I'm deep in it.
I know how you feel there. You know, without the community, I wouldn't be where I'm at today neither. You know, the community saved my life. You know, I went through some dark times myself, and I can relate to that. And that's why I love having guests such as yourself that have such inspirational stories. And I want everybody, you know, in the chat, give me a congrats. This man is about to hit 500 days sober.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Very
come
close.
on. Congratulations, man.
I couldn't have done it without the plant, man, because
right.
Our vices, and you know, I've got to have one, and so I chose the plant, and I feel like I chose the healthier, less intoxicating, less dangerous of the vices to have.
Absolutely, you know, and that's not a hard habit to break. You know, that is something like what I talked off camera. You know, my father's been incarcerated my whole life, you know, for alcohol, and I haven't touched it since going on 17 years. And it's like, you know, when I see people and they use the plant instead of using alcohol, it brings me joy. It really does, because it's like, okay, you know, you're going to feel good. You're going to still get that sense of feeling you want to get, just like you do with alcohol. But you're going to get to, in a couple hours, drive home and be just fine.
Have an actual conversation and remember it.
Exactly. And, you know, I know you're going to make it home safe, where if you drink a 6-pack of something strong or even medially strong, I don't know if you're going to make it down the block without hitting the road sign at the corner, you know.
But motherfucker, are you going to try, huh?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You know, you got that bravery juice. You're like, oh, I got this. I can make it.
Exactly. And you know, and this is even personal for me. You know, one of my best friends growing up, literally like my brother, just hit 600 days today. And
nice. Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, and it's like, you know, these people are changing. We're getting older. We're realizing, you know, that party era was just that, a party era. And a lot of the people that we surround ourselves with have matured as well. So they're not even into that type of stuff anymore. And it's like, well, how do you fit that in, you know? So you almost have to change. You don't have a choice.
My oldest friends, the one I was talking about that introduced me to the plant a long time, he came by and visited a couple months ago. He's all into sport fishing, going out on his boat out in the ocean. He's not out there partying, getting hammered every night and doing, you know, doing when we were kids. He's doing grown up shit, because, you know, we've all matured and grown up pretty much.
Definitely.
But I feel like when I was drinking, I think that alcohol, well, I know it did for a fact. It mentally stunted me, you know, because I still feel and act sometimes like I'm 15 years old when I started drinking. So I still have some growing up to do.
Oh yeah, I think we all do. You know, that's what keeps us young at heart. Exactly. And if you grow up too much, you know, you're going to end up like somebody that's retired. And I've seen that firsthand. My grandfather, when he retired, my grandmother told him, you know, this was before he passed. And he said, she said, all you're going to do is sleep. And he said, no, I'm not. And then he retired. And guess what he did? All he did was sleep.
And when he wasn't sleeping, he was falling asleep.
Right. And so you got to keep that mind moving, you know, definitely. And, You know, we got a lot of great people out there in the chat. Thanks to everybody for joining us this evening.
Oh, I see Rue's in there. Root Nerds. Those are my boys. Alicia.
Yes, definitely.
Right on.
Definitely. So that boils me into the next question here. You know, we both love this community so much. So you built your own community, because we all do, with our own following and our own way of doing things. You know, you, correct me if I'm wrong, don't you have your own podcast as well?
I do. We do. I do it with Rue, who's actually in the chat. Rue's Goofy Growing, and my buddy Canorado Chris. We do the Seeds and Harvest podcast, where we're community oriented. So what we do is we try to focus on a smaller, lesser known breeder, pick one of their cultivars, and then we'll grow it out on the show. We each do our own different way of growing, you know, and then we'll have the audience, or the people who watch the show weekly with us. They can purchase the seeds and grow along with us. And then throughout the season, we'll drop the link in the live chat, let them jump on, kind of show their progress along with us. And I feel like that gives them a way to participate in the show, but it also gives a way to showcase like an up and coming breeder who's got some good word, who's trying to get their name out there. You know, like
absolutely.
Like last season we did crop culture, and nobody really knew he had his own strains, because he's the crop culture box, and that's what you went to him for, was just the crop culture box. But he does have 4 technically, but I think he had a limited amount. I snagged one of them, of the Oopsie Daisy, but he's got 3 of his own cultivars that he created himself. So I kind of wanted to bring notice to that, because I like to support Chris with crop culture. He's one of my dudes.
Definitely. We had him on the show. He's a great guy, you know. And
amazing person. I love that dude. Yeah. I'm going to be able to meet him pretty soon at the Build a Soil Days. I'm so excited for that.
Oh, I'm so jealous of you, dude. Like, Jeremy's a good friend of mine. He is. Awesome. And I've never got to meet him in the flesh. And it's like, man, if I ever get out that way, I'm definitely popping by, you know, because I've been trying to catch him again. We've been trying to get him back on the show, but he does so much that it's. Oh no,
I'm sure it's hard to get him to go on anywhere. I know that Untrained Astronaut and Luke got him, but I think they had to have Chris from Crop Culture fucking reel him in for him. You know?
I can believe that, because I've got his cell phone number, and it's like, okay, you know, I text him and he'll reply, but sometimes it's his wife, and she'll be like, "Yeah, he's not available," and I'm like, "Man, he's that busy." Okay, you know, like, dang. You know, but I can imagine, you know, definitely, you know. So, you know, as a grower, you mentioned that you guys grow these out. You know, what is your preferred style of growing, and what have been some of your biggest challenges as a grower so far?
Well, I started doing regular soil, you know, like Fox Farms, and then I moved over to cocoa, which I became my preferred method. Cocoa with green rush nutrients. And then July I went out to Montrose, where Build a Soil's at, and I actually got to meet Aukid and then Gabe, the production manager, and so he showed me like the production plant and everything. And with the crop culture living soil box, I got all the stuff I needed, and so I went ahead and started the Build a Soil way. So now I'm on to the Build a Soil way, and I'm just learning. And I will have you know that I just harvested last night. I guess I should say early this morning. It was about midnight. My very first 15-gallon Build a Soil grow, which was an Aukid crashed saucers, and it turned out good. But I am still struggling with the watering, because I'm so used to watering the small pots. So I'm completely underwatering the big pots, and I just got a moisture meter, so that will help me.
Definitely.
But, right now it's Build a Soil. I'm on a mission to learn this whole method, and I want to be able to reuse and just keep it going.
Definitely. You know, we're getting ready to fire up a series here pretty soon, an auto tent series that I'm going to be putting together, but it's going to be living soil. It's a bed from grassroots, a custom size that we're putting in a 4x2 tent. But, you know, Same kind of deal there. You know, it's a lot of learning, a lot, especially with the watering. And I cannot mention enough blue mat. You know, if you get the chance, try a blue mat system. Or we're going to be working with a new system I'm going to be unveiling here, that Jeremy just unveiled on his show as well, called the Thirsty System. And
I did not watch that video yet. I saw that it was up, and I haven't watched it yet.
yeah, ours will be here this week, you know, and we're waiting on a couple more little pieces before we start putting a video together on how we're setting up this auto tent. That's going to be basically fully automated, hands off. So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be great, you know, and we're going to do re-amending and water only. So
Yeah.
it'll be good. I know a lot of it from our big tent, but we're going to transfer it off to being auto flowers.
Dogs go crazy.
That little guy loves you.
Oh, I know. Well, one of my other dogs is out in the front barking. So instead of running out there to bark, he stays in here and he barks out there. Come on, man. What are you doing? Go out there and do that.
Definitely. So while we're chatting here, I'm gonna do something even more greater for the chat, everybody here. Is I've got this show tonight is brought to us by Seedsman Genetics and Grove Bags. So you can use coupon code Organically, blunt, all one word, will save you money at both of them websites. But even better is what I'm gonna do is once I get it here, I'm gonna start a timer. There's gonna be a keyword that's gonna come across in the chat, and if you guys enter this, you're gonna get entered in a drawing that's gonna end in roughly 5 minutes, and we're going to put together a package. I don't know what all I'm going to throw in there. You never know what I'll have laying around here. I've got a vault in the closet over here and of seeds and bags and stickers and who knows what else goodies. And I'll reach in there and I'm going to grab a whole bunch of stuff and I'm just going to ship it your way. So with that being said, we're going to start a timer here while we're chatting, and you guys make sure to enter that and don't miss out on that. And now I will mention that you have to use the exclamation mark before the keyword. If you don't put that in there, it won't be valid. So here we go. So, you know, I want to dive into a few more questions with you here. And that being said, you know, you created a podcast, you built friendship. How has been sharing your journey publicly changed your perspective on both cannabis and sobriety?
Well, I can say that I notice a lot more people doing it the same way that I am, whereas they use the plant in place of the alcohol. So I think I've learned that I mean, we were told so long that this plant is a gateway drug and that it leads to other things, but I feel like we've always had that shit backwards, and I feel like this plant is quickly becoming a gateway out of drugs and out of addiction. And I mean, I guess some people could get addicted to the plant technically, but I mean, I'd rather be addicted to this plant than fucking crack or cocaine or some shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like I've just learned that a lot of people in the world look at the plant a lot differently now than they did in the past. Some people are still stuck in propaganda mode, but for the most part, the plant's getting the recognition that it deserves, I feel. And I just hope it continues on that path, you know.
Absolutely. You know, I'm not familiar with, and I will be honest with where everybody's rights and rules are in each state, but I know here in Michigan we do caregiver rallies. We go right to our Capitol and we stand on them steps and we rally and we fight for our rights, you know, because they want to take it away. And if you have a legislation in your state that is standing behind cannabis, make sure you promote them. But if they don't, make sure you persuade them, because you're going to need to stand up for them rights, because someday they're going to want it just to be like you go to Walmart and you purchase a bag that's already ready for you. You ain't even going to know what's in that bag. I mean, I like to know what I'm putting in my body, and I would hope that all y'all would too. So, you know, fight for your rights, because this is one of the freedoms that we don't want to lose. We fought so long to get it to where it's at now. Let's not give it away. So
yeah, and kudos to all those that have given up their fucking freedom for the plant. and people that are still in fucking prison for this plant. And it, I can only imagine the feeling that you feel if you're in prison for this plant and you're seeing it going legal, and you're still sitting in there going, "What the fuck? What about me?" I could only, I mean, I feel for those people, and it shouldn't be that way. And hopefully, that last prisoner project gets them all out. They're doing good shit over there, and I hope they manage to do what they're set out to do.
Definitely. So, something I always ask everybody is, you broke the cycle of alcohol. What, now that you got the plant, which is so much better, what is your preferred way of consumption?
I prefer, that's a hard one to answer, man, honestly, because I mostly prefer hash, rosin.
Nice.
That's like my main, just the flavor. I love the flavor. But since I have so many different options to choose from flower wise, I have been rolling a lot more joints lately, and that's been like my go-to. Like I get some hash, and it basically, I'll hit it once or twice in the daytime, but I'm just ripping fucking joints because I'm just enjoying the joint. So I'd have to say right now, I'm gonna go with joint, man, as I'm shoving one full of fucking herb.
Oh yeah. I feel you, definitely, it's been a long day for me today, and it's been a good day though, definitely a good day today. I had a good day, and not having alcohol in your life, has your family seen the positivity in you?
100%. 100%. When I would drink, I mean, I have a short temper, but when I would drink, it got really short.
Oh,
so
I can relate to that. Yeah,
I wasn't abusive or anything, but I would yell and get real loud, and then when I do that, the kids or even the dogs, like, you can tell that they get scared.
Yeah,
run into the other room, or the kids like, oh shit, they're looking at me like, fuck, what did he do?
Yep. Yeah, and unfortunately, I grew up with an alcoholic, even that wasn't my father, because my mother's husband was an alcoholic, and it was terrible. I remember hiding in closets and everything. I don't want. I can only imagine. So you made a good choice. You're on the great path. My best friend and my first dealer actually owns a sobriety and recovery center here in my city. And it's a funny story because I go and I advocate, and I advocate heavy for him. And people hear the story about like how I bought my first bag from the owner of the sobriety center. And they're like, man, is he still okay with cannabis? Very much, very much.
Yeah.
He will promote cannabis over anything, and that's what's so great about this center. And he doesn't push anything on anybody. It's come at free will, and he was an addict himself, and that's why I addiction and recovery and sobriety is so big for me, and telling people stories, because I like seeing people use the plant for better medicine and better ways, especially if it's opiates or alcohol.
And get fucked up, and it's helping.
Exactly. Yep. And I'm glad that you got some positivity going for you. I would like to personally, extend some genetics your way. We need to keep you growing, and you need to grow some fire. So we got to get you some fire in them tents over there. So
I'm always down for some genetics, man. I got a little collection here going on, but I keep dipping in to give people seeds because that's just the kind of person I am. Somebody needs some seeds. Like I got a buddy Dave, he wants some AQ, so I'm like, oh dude, I'll break into my thing and send you some AQ genetics, because I do some of his artwork for AQ, and so he sends me free seeds and shit. So I'm like, I got you covered, dude. I'll send you some. Don't trip. So
yeah, definitely.
Into my box to send people seeds,
Yeah, I do the same thing. I'm sending people stuff, and people can't believe it, and they're like, "Man, this is like a $500 pack of seeds." And I'm like, "Listen, to me, it's sharing the joy of the plant, so it doesn't matter, And I work with some great companies such as Seedsman, Humboldt Seed, and stuff like that, Fast Buds. And it's like, great brands that have great genetics that have been tried, true, and trusted. And, I'm willing to share that with everybody. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm reading some of the chat here. I got Anthony. He's talking about, he said he used to watch a guy called The Recovery Comedian. And I'll have to check that out. I love stuff like that. Yeah.
Man, I like that dude. Anthony's cool. I sent him a little box when he first started with some stuff to get him started.
Definitely. So do you got your next grow planned? I mean, what's next?
Oh my God. So planning's not really my thing, man. I'm kind of a fly by the seat of the pants kind of guy, and I end up just
same here. Yeah.
And then I go, well, let's see what happens. So
right.
1, 2, 3, 4 plants that are outside of the tent, just outside of the tent, getting light that way.
Nice.
So, I mean, right now my plan is to get all these harvested and out of there, and then from there, I'll see what I got going on next. But I really want to run these Oopsie Daisy from Crop Culture because Chris said he's gonna have. He said that it should have some really good stuff in there, and then I've also got a grow off coming up with some AQ genetics, the Gasicane. I'm just waiting for the package, and then I got to start shipping that to all the people that are participating. So that'll be in January, though. That's not for a little while.
I've done a few of them, and I haven't been successful. I'll be honest. The grow ups. We sent seeds all over, and nobody grew them at the same time, and it was a mess for me. And I was just like, I don't think I'm going to do this. So, if you got that organized and under control, more power, because I literally praise you. Like,
we're gonna give it a shot. I've got me, and then Growing with Grizzly is helping me. Muskoka Grower and Nipigon River Cannabis, I think is the name. They're all helping, so I'll have some help on my end. Getting it all. It was actually their idea, and then I spoke to AQ, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I'll just send you the packs," because I was asking him to do like a promo code so people could get the seeds for cheaper. And he was like, "Dude, don't worry about it. I'll just send you all the seeds. Tell me how many you need." I go, "Dude, it's like 30 packs. Like 30. It's a lot of money." He was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll send them to you. Don't trip." So he's sending me all these seeds to send to these people for free because that's the kind of person he is. That's why I fuck with him. He's a good dude.
Definitely. Anthony, they have a propagation tent now from ACI, and I'm not affiliated with them at all. They actually don't like me, but I love them, so that's okay.
Oh, really?
Yes. Long story for another day. And
I have issues with some people, but
my brothers kind of ruined it back in the day. They were literally not good. They were in their inbox in my early days, and it wasn't. Yeah, and I'm still trying to apologize and trying to get them, I'm still trying to get them to unblock me on Instagram. Like, I can't even tag them, so it's like, well, it is what it is. I'm not mad at you, and I've sent formal letters and everything else. I'm not mad at them, but I love their products, and I have a tent for myself, and I paid for all mine though. They didn't give me nothing. I will make sure everybody knows that. And
well, I'll tell you what, you get big enough, I'll bet you they'll come knocking on your door being like,
that's what I said. That's what I said. Yep. I said, just wait. When I hit 100,000 views here, somebody's going to say something. You watch. And that's okay. I'm all right with that. No harm, no foul. I'm not mad at you. We all got to work together. That's what community is about. And
honestly, I think the people that run the Instagram and shit, that's like marketing team. That's not. That's not Sid and the people that deal with the content creators. I don't think.
I don't think it is neither, because I've emailed Sydney numerous times.
Yeah, I don't think that's her. No, I think she'll definitely unblock you.
Yeah. Yep. But they got some great products. We're gonna be using a lot of their products. I finally got fully fitted in. I run an active intake and an active exhaust. And I'm going to be running their 4-inch fans on my 2x4 with a bed. And I'm running the new T3 humidifier. These are some of the goodies you guys are going to see us set up and have running in the new tent. And, a buddy of mine runs a 3D printing company out of Canada that called GFB Brackets. You can find him on Etsy, and he makes a lot of stuff that works with AC Infinity's products, including a port that, yes, you got to cut a small hole into the side of your tent, but then it's a permanent port for your hose, so you can have the humidifier outside of the tent, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of cool stuff, a lot of real cool stuff he makes, you know, the shelves and brackets and stuff for scrog netting and all that.
Oh,
And
man. You can always use shelves in those goddamn tents.
yep, exactly. And you know, it's just a shameless plug for him. He didn't pay for that or nothing, you know, just products I stand
Give
behind.
everybody a plug, man. That's what we're all about. Give your friends a plug.
Yep. And he came up with some cool stuff for the new humidifier that makes it so your floor don't get all wet and stuff. And if you do your hose right and on an angle, like we're going to show in the video eventually, your condensation will drip back into the humidifier and not onto your floor.
Yeah,
So
not all over the floor.
Yep. And these are different points that, you know, I'm going to try to bring attention to, so people don't have to run into problems that we've had to face along the way.
Yeah.
And as growers, you know, and I'm no professional. I just try to do anything I learn and reteach it, you know. So
Yep.
definitely.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I keep saying on my YouTube. Like I don't see myself as a teacher because I'm just learning. So you can watch me,
exactly.
and if you learn something cool, if not, you can watch me fucking make a fool of myself, whatever. But I'm no teacher because I don't know what the fuck I'm just winging it here.
I think we all are, you know, and some of us are just better at talking than others.
Right? Some of us know how to word it right.
Right, yeah. I'll tell you, I've met a lot of different people from different standpoints. Like, I got to meet Brandon Bokashi from Bokashi Earthworks this summer, and he's a good friend of mine. And it's like, dude, it's like you are got to be one of the smartest people I know. Like, and he's so educated on how he talks. Like, some of the stuff, I'll be honest, I'm just sitting there like, I'm listening, but I don't understand what it means.
It's just going right over your head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, this community is great. You meet so many great people, and you know,
I've met countless wonderful people.
Oh, I can imagine, especially you being that close to Build a Soil. I mean, you're so lucky, dude. I wish I was that close. I'd be going to Build a Soil days every year.
Yeah,
like if I had the opportunity.
If at some point, I'm hoping that we can move out there.
That would be cool.
Got family and shit. So, and I know the area, but right now I'm taking care of Pops, so it's, you know, I'm kind of stuck here in Yuma. But
sure,
someday maybe we'll get out there, because I would love, dude. It's such a beautiful fucking place. If you ever go out there, just drive around and just it's amazing. Just
I can imagine.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place. I love it out there.
We're gonna pick a winner for that grab bag giveaway that we were giving away.
Dinner time.
So it'll come across in the chat who won, and then I will also announce it once I see it as well. So here we go.
Oh, first hit that like. Ah, shit, son.
And as soon as it comes across there, I'm waiting for it myself. So hopefully here. I thought it worked. There we go. I think it did. If it did it twice, we'll have to get two of them out. So I think. Oh, now it's opening my email here.
I see Rue, and then I see Root Nerds.
Okay. Well, we'll get you guys. Yeah, pick two. We'll get you guys both out something. You guys make sure to reach out to me. You know, I'll try to make it right.
Up my buddies. It's not rigged, I swear.
No, it's not rigged. I promise. It's just sometimes I'm running on a 10-year-old laptop here, if not.
Oh yeah.
It might even be 14 or 15 years now.
It's doing shit.
And I've got. Yeah, and I've got it maxed out here. I mean, on RAM, and put a bigger hard drive in it and all that stuff, and it's dated. I mean, I can't upgrade Windows anymore. That's how dated it is. So like, yeah. So, we'll make it right by you guys. You know, it might take me a couple of weeks to get them out to you guys, but we'll get you guys everything. I promise. So if you guys don't have me on Instagram where you can DM me and let me know that you won, which I know who you are, you
Shoot
can
'em a
email me
follow.
at organicallyblunt@gmail.com, and we'll get this stuff out to you at the end of this week. I promise. If not the beginning of next week, you know, I will get everything together, put a nice package together with some grow bags. We'll get you some genetics to get your indoor started, because the outdoor season is coming to an end if it hasn't for you already, you know, and some cool stickers and whatever else I got laying around here. You
Okay.
never know what I got. Yeah.
When you send it to Rue, make sure you address it to RuPaul.
All right. Yeah, we'll get it. You know, I go to a shipping company, honestly, and they
Yeah.
ship it out from them, and the address they put on there for the return address is actually their store, so that
Oh
way
yeah.
I'm not getting a bunch of junk mail to my house, and you
Yeah.
know,
You
so if,
don't have that crap then.
yeah, and so it gets forwarded to them, and then they just call me and say, "Hey, you got a bunch of mail here to pick up," because I get people that send me seeds. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't even know how I got them. Like, I
Yeah. I've
really
gotten a
don't.
couple
Like,
packages that I'm like, I don't know who sent me this. Like, what? Who? I gotta like message a couple people. Was this you? Was this you? Oh, it was you. Okay, cool. Thanks.
exactly. Well, and come to find out, I entered a contest once in one of the Facebook groups, and I won. And I was just like, and I'm thinking, and I'm looking at the thing, and it's addressed to my real name. So it's like, I'm looking, and I'm like, how did these people get my name? Then I forgot on my real personal Facebook that I
Yeah.
entered a contest.
And with your
And
actual
locally, yeah, and I won, and I was just like, and it took me forever, and I'm like, somebody knows who I am. I'm like, it's not that I care, but I try to keep my personal life personal. So if
Yeah.
you do guys find me on Facebook, there's about a 5% chance I'm gonna add you. If you're local, I'm gonna add you because I've seen you locally at the events, but otherwise, good luck because
Yeah, it's all personal. People you
yeah,
actually know.
yep, and it is really too. Yeah, so I try to keep it that way now. It was a very tough lesson to learn for myself, you know. I didn't want to be that way. I wanted to be fully open, but sometimes you can't. It comes with the territory, you know. I learned that from Mr. Grow It and Pigeons and all them guys. You know, that once you get to a certain level, people actually try to be you, and it's
Yeah, they try to
ridiculous.
contact or copy your profile, and they start hitting your comments with you've won this. Just call this number or message me, and I'll tell you what you got.
Yeah, yesterday somebody on my Jay Blaze Instagram, somebody tried changing the password, and it was like, really? Like I have two-factor, so it's gonna text me and ask me for a code. So
Yeah.
like, you're not gonna get that unless you have my phone. So like, I'm not changing so I changed it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna leave it now because now probably know what it is. So like,
Yeah.
you know, so it's like, yeah, you're always on eggshells, and it kind of stinks, but it's part
Yeah.
of the game, I guess, you know. But so I got a couple more questions I want to dive into here with you, you know, and that being, you know, this next question is the famous question for Organically Blunt. If you
Okay.
haven't seen any of our previous shows, I'll break it down for you. It's quite simple. It has one rule. You know, you cannot think about your answer. You have to blurt out your thought. And that being said, you know, here it goes. If you could smoke with anybody dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Man, I would have to say Jerry Garcia, just because I'm a fan of his music, and he was played such a big role in, I feel, bringing cannabis. I mean, not recently, obviously, because he's dead, but you know, like just the Grateful Dead all around. Just it was one of those things that will always be tied to cannabis, and I feel like they have a big part of it. Not him personally, but I would have loved to have met him and smoked a joint with him. That would have been really cool.
Absolutely.
Just pick his brain about how it works, and he was a fascinating person.
Definitely. You know, I've heard everything. You wouldn't believe some of the people I don't even know I've heard, you know, like,
You're like, okay, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, well, I talk to people from overseas and different countries, and I have them on here, and it's someone that might be popular in their country, and it's like, oh, well, then I gotta go see who they are because I don't know who they
Yeah, you
are.
have to know. I mean, you just got to.
Right? Exactly. And definitely. So, what can we expect in the near future with your podcast, with you and growing? Just as a whole. What can we expect in the near future with you?
Well, I will be doing the Seed to Harvest podcast, and hopefully that will turn into something at some point. I mean, we're working our way up to 1,000 followers, subscribers now. We're at
Definitely.
760, I believe, which is pretty good. I think we'll get to 1,000 by the end of the year, and then we're gonna try and do a live one from the Build a Soil event.
Okay. Hell yeah.
But Miles said he can't promise me internet, so we're gonna have to see when we get there how it goes.
I could probably patch in with Dude from Dude Grows, and maybe you guys could do something together out there.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. He's him and Chris, one of my co-hosts. They're pretty. They talk and stuff. So he's one of the sponsors for our show, Real Growers.
Okay. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. Good, great guy. Great guy.
I'm also working on creating my own channel. I mean, I have my channel and I do lives and stuff on there. Like, last night I out of nowhere just went live and chopped one of my plants and put it in the dryer. But I'm gonna create a series. I just popped too many seeds, and so I was on a hold up here because I didn't have any room. 1 for filming, and 2 to actually get my plant into the 15-gallon. But I'm going to be doing my Learning Living Soil series, where you're just going to follow me learning living soil, whether it's success or mistakes after mistakes. You're going to see what happens to me. So that'll be fun.
That's how it works. We all make mistakes. We learn from them, and sometimes we don't know we made a mistake until somebody points it out.
Yeah.
I've been there as well. Like someone's like, you shouldn't have did that to the plant. I'm like, oh, well, too late. I already did. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times people don't want to be that way. They won't tell you because they're like, all right, well, I'll just let it be. But then there's those people that will tell you every fucking single thing you did is wrong. And you're like, oh, come on, man. Not everybody can grow as good as you.
Yeah, and I want to make it clear that I know, dude. I don't know Scotty, by the way. So I know, dude. So,
dude, yeah.
Yeah, I've never talked
to two different dudes.
Yep. I've never talked to Scotty other than briefly on the air one time, but I have had dude on the show, and I know dude, and I've got his number. So that's why I always try to be the Rolodex, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
That's what I tell everybody. Like, if I know somebody and I can connect 2 people together, I want to do it because I want to see somebody do. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I had AQ and Dead by Dawn connected. I'm pretty sure because of me, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. I'm so glad you guys connected.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm on the lookout for what they fucking come up with together. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So if there's anybody you've seen on our show, that I can connect you with, don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel that just like you said, you're big on the community. And without you and I, literally the letters you and I, you can't spell community. And I've been saying that since day one, and definitely, so. We got about 15 minutes here, and I'm going to give you the mic to kind of talk about anything that we might have missed. Is there anything you want us to know, or anything you want the audience to know, or any thanks you want to give, or anything like that? You have the floor and the open mic right now.
Well, I just have to say thank you to everybody in the community. Well, mostly everybody in the community. There's a few stinkers in there, but mostly everybody in the community who's just keeping their head down, doing their shit, sharing people's posts. I'm adamant on sharing cannabis content. Like, if you like the post, share it to your story so other people can see it, other people can follow. Because, I mean, I'm referring to Instagram, obviously, because that's mainly where I kind of dwell. But they're really heavy on censoring your shit, so they don't show it to anybody. And then they want to bribe you and tell you to pay them to show it to people. And it's like, seriously, I saw a post the other day. Somebody posted, I think it was Cannabis, shared a post where he found a sponsored post, and it was just a fucking giant nug, a big old bud leaf. And it's like, what the fuck? And you're censoring all of us for showing the same shit, but this person pays and you're willing to blast it all over your app here. So I always tell people, share those posts, let other people see them. Refer some friends. You got somebody that makes really cool shit. Share them and write on there, hey, follow this guy. He's got cool stuff. Give him a follow. Give him a like. Give him a share.
Definitely. Sorry, I'm just chatting with the chat here. They're talking about what everybody's growing, and I haven't typed without looking in years on a keyboard.
Yeah, I can't even do that, man. I'm a pecker. I just sit here and I do this. Fucking, I can't. I need to learn that, but I can't do it.
I used to type in high school 95 words a minute, and
nice. I think I type 400 words a minute. I mean,
and I can't.
4 words a minute.
I can't do it no more. Yep. Yeah, like I'm getting old, but definitely, I didn't mean to cut you off at all.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. I was just saying, just share those posts, man, because like Dabs says, Despicable Dabs, we're all we have, the community. So share those fucking posts. Less greed, more weed. Share those
definitely,
posts.
Definitely.
Get some eyes on your stuff, because Instagram ain't doing it, and I don't think they're gonna. So. Untrained Astronaut is in the chat. Look at that, man! You've made it. You got Astro in the chat, fool.
He's a great guest, a great guy. Cool, I wouldn't be where I'm at also without him, and he knows it, and I know it. We got a level of respect for each other that is above the show. It's outside of everything, and it always will be. That man always has my respect. And he blows my mind with what he does every week.
Yeah, dude. I keep telling people he's gonna be one of the big ones very soon.
Oh, he is. He is. Him and Luke. It's like it's like the gates got open at the same time for both these guys, and it's like a battle of the bulls. I hate to put it that way, guys, but it's like you guys are running towards the goat or the red flag, and I'm behind you. But I'm the clown that's trying to stop you guys in the back, because I haven't reached it yet. But, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. It's their time to shine. Let's let them shine. I say, fuck it.
Exactly. I ain't mad at you.
I want to see these dudes at the top, and then we can go, hey, we know there's dudes. Now they can give us a shout out once in a while and say, these dudes.
Just remember, Astro, when you go out to eat and at one of them fancy places eventually, just remember to save me some mac and cheese, because I'm okay with it. I'm just kidding, by the way. I don't eat steak, so you don't have to offer me that. But that's the thing about this community that I want to stress so hard to everybody. I'm not out here to compete. And I'm not here to get mad at anybody. We all have our time. We all put in our hard work, and it's the stuff that people don't see behind the scenes as a creator that puts into it. The hardest thing for me, my biggest challenge, is finding guests. It's not finding subjects to discuss. It's finding guests, because I run into so many people on my streams that are still stuck in that prohibition era. They're afraid to show their face. They might live in a legal state still, and they're, or their job don't allow it. And I feel bad for them people, because they have a lot of knowledge, but it makes it hard for a conversation when I'm the only one talking and they're staring at a letter or a logo. And it's like, I need more interaction for the community. So
yeah, you got to be able to read their face, and you got to be able to have a conversation. I mean, you can do it when you're staring at their logo, but it's a little bit harder.
Yep.
But I mean, I understand it. There are some people that are in states where they still shit on it, which I don't get.
Definitely. Yeah.
Said state gets for some reason.
Definitely.
I feel
So-
like someday in the future that this plant is going to be, oh man, my thing died. Oh, never mind. It's going to be released, and I think the world will be a happier place. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely. So my final question for you, even though you are a newer grower, is if you had one piece of advice you could give any new grower, what would it be?
Oh shit. Get good genetics. Because my first grow, I got some questionable genetics, and well, they turned out questionable. So I would say get some good genetics, like a good, reputable genetic.
Yeah, definitely.
Something that that has some history and some good what do you call it, like reviews and shit. People that have had that strain and that breeder.
Absolutely. It all does boil down to genetics, but if you don't have the right environment also, I think that's the second thing, because you can have good genetics. If you don't have the right fundamentals for the right environment, you can grow some shitty good genetics.
Shitty good weed. That's some shitty good
Right,
weed.
right, yeah. And I'll admit I've done it, and it sucks. By the way, Anthony, you mentioned Night Owl, which we got some Night Owl coming up for you guys. I connected with them guys over there, and he sent me a nice care package.
Nice.
And it's only took me 3 years to get a hold of them, but we made it happen. And I got stuck in the spam box for a couple of years, but he found me, and he made it happen. And we're gonna make it happen. I'm more excited for that than anything, because I've seen nothing but good off his genetics, and I want to see what we.
I see so much good stuff. I've run a couple of them, and they came out really good.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's Dark Owl, so it's Night Owl and Dark Horse, but this Marathon OG, it's fucking
okay.
Oh
wow!
I'm loving it.
Beautiful.
I'm loving
Definitely.
it.
Definitely.
So I'd say Night Owl would definitely be one of them. He actually, I shared one of his promoting his Halloween sale coming up, or that.
Okay.
But I shared it, and I put one of those. You know how I do my art and stuff. I put a cool artsy owl, creepy owl behind it. And he messaged me. He's like, dude, thank you for making that look so cool. I appreciate it. And I was like, dude, you give so many people fucking care packages and shit. It's
definitely.
And he totally appreciated it. And I was like, see, that's the kind of people that I like. The people that appreciate, little stupid things, like me making just a stupid little picture behind his little post. But he appreciated it. So I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We're getting into, I'm working with a good friend of mine, Country Roots, up here, and we're going to be running some Humboldt genetics and some clones and some from seed. We got them coming, and we're gonna wash a bunch, and I'm gonna try to get a lot of great content on washing and making bubble hash. And he's got the new Astro Green system and stuff like that.
That's my goal, is to get that Aether Green system. But
the Aether Green, that's what it's
called.
Coupon
my bad. It has like $420 off, but I just don't have the money to buy it, and I'm like, fuck. I think I'm gonna have to give a coupon to somebody that will use it, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to use it by the time But I gotta want to try and figure out a way to do it. But I'll find someone that'll use it. You need it?
Definitely. No, I can't afford it neither.
I'll find someone. I told Chris, I'll find someone worthy, someone that will actually use it and not just turn around and try and sell it. I'll find someone that can actually use it, and then I can actually see them using the machine and making some fucking fire hash. That's my goal in the future. Is I want to just be able to make all my own shit and never go to the dispensary again to be buying hash. I just want to make all my own shit,
Definitely. I did a whole class this past year, and it's on our channel. It's like almost 2 hours. Maybe it's over 2 hours long. It's a full how to make bubble hash, but I want to get more into it with this new setup with him, and I'm going to document it, because we had a lot of plans, and I got a lot of great genetics we're going to be doing some stuff with. But that's the thing, everybody has their own way, but I definitely want to perfect and learn as I go and learn more things, just as you are too, and that's what it is all about. I still
Yeah.
haven't learned how to clone myself yet,
I
so like,
just learned. Literally, I've my 2 clones are still like this big. Chris just taught me how to do it, so I'm so excited. I now know how.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Get you on that.
definitely. Yeah, that's awesome because there's a couple I want to keep, but I'm also limited on space. So,
Yeah.
but I like variety, so it's kind of hand in hand. I mean,
Yeah,
but
the same way. I like having all these different jars, and I can go, which one do I want tonight? Let's see. I love
exactly.
these. I spent so long when I was a teenager and in my earlier adult years. I couldn't really afford that much, so I would have an eighth, and that would be my weed for the week. One little eighth. I'm like, that's my weed for the week. Now I'm like, dude, I got more than I can even know what to do with. So I'm so happy. I'm just pigging shit right now.
Definitely. Well, we're going to be hitting the hour mark here, and I don't want to cut you short, but is there anything else where can people connect with you at and find you at if they want to find your show or if they want to find you and connect with you? Where can we find you at?
I'm El Cannasur, EL_CANNASSEUR. It's a hard one to spell, so I spell it for you. I'm El Cannasur on Twitter and Instagram, and then El Canna Content on YouTube is my personal channel. I do lives. I'm working on a series, and man, I've been really enjoying going live. So I feel like I'm just gonna start going live more. Even when I'm like creating some art, I'll get on there and share the screen and create some art live, and just have people jump on and fuck around. Somebody wants me to make something for them, I can do it. So El Canna Content, you can find all that stuff, and then S2H podcast with a T is our podcast we do live every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. I say Central because I'm in Arizona. We don't switch, so my 2 co-hosts, they switch. So when they switch, that their time is going to stay the same, but mine will switch because I don't switch. So I'm going to go from doing it at 3:30 to doing it at 4:30. And then when it switches back, I'll go back to doing it at 3:30 where they're staying the same. They just move the clocks around. Fucking confuses me every time. I'm confused about it right now.
I hate it.
What did I hate it.
I hate it because I go to work, it's dark, and I get out of work and it's dark. And it's like,
where'd you guys go? The day's gone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I feel you there. Definitely. Yeah. And Florida Man Jack, I have heard people use aloe for cloning. I've heard that.
Yeah, dude. I see a lot of people do that. They'll take just the plant, open it up, and just use that gel, I believe. Or you can grind it up or dry it out, grind it up, make it a powder, and then mix it in water. Yeah, aloe's great.
That's crazy.
It's like the miracle, man.
Yeah, definitely. Well, with that being said, you're always welcome back on the Organically Blunt Show. Awesome. If you have something going, don't hesitate to reach out. With that being said, if you can't stay lit, stay organically blunt, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Have a good night.
Thanks for watching Organically Blunt. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe up front. Shout out to our partners helping us grow. Seedsman Genetics, the pros you know. Country roots, soil, and grassroots too. Grow bags, keep your turfs just like new. Gorilla Grow 10 kind, LEDs shining bright. Atlas Seeds, Green Wolf, keeping your grow just right. Just right. Extreme gardening and smoking storks so fly. Use code Organically Blunt and give them a try.